All right, lead guitar volume 1. This is the fourth song, so 4 out of 6. So we're getting close. At this point, we've done slide, hammer on, pull off. Now it's time for a trill. So we're going to do the Ed Sheeran song, Thinking Out Loud. There's a couple steps to this one. But what I like to do first is just skip ahead to your very last measure, where you see 2, 4, 2, and they're all connected by like a wavy line, okay? So that means is you're going to do a hammer on and then a pull off, or sometimes that's referred to as a trill. So in this case, it's 3 notes with 1 pick, or 1 attack, right? In this case, we'll assume you're using a pick. But even if you weren't, it would be the same concept, okay? So I'm on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string. Remember your string, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's my G here. So what I do is I play my 2nd fret, and then I'm going to hammer on and then pull off. So we're kind of combining 2 techniques in one. Slowly, it should sound like this. Right? Doesn't sound difficult, but it is, because you really need your fingers to be pretty strong. I hammer on, pull off. Remember, on your pull off, you want to kind of pull down and then off. You don't want it to go straight off, because you're not going to hear that 2nd note very well. So again, it should sound like this. So that's what a trill is. In this song, it's very fast. It's like a... He's going to do that kind of thing, okay? So same thing, we just want to try and get it close to the tempo. Now, I'm going to do this one with a pick. I'll show you at the end. If you want to do it with your hands, this is one of those songs that kind of does actually lend itself well to not using a pick, but I don't want to add too much at once, so I would recommend just using a pick. Okay? The X's, we're just going to skip those now, but so you know what they are. That's when he's just kind of hitting the string like this. I'll show my right hand. So you can throw them in there if you want, but I'd recommend just leaving them out for right now, because it will sound good without it, and it's going to make things a little bit more complex, okay? So before we put it all together, if I just kind of show you the basic chords, the song won't be quite as hard as it at first seems to be, right? The first measure is really just a D chord. I'm just hammering on the 1st note, but it's just a D chord minus your 1st string. Okay? Now I'm going to use the fingering 2 and then 3, because that frees up my 1st finger to play the 2nd chord, and that 2nd chord is still in the 1st measure. That's a D/F sharp, meaning it's a D chord with F sharp in my bass. Okay? D over F sharp. Now go to the next measure, which should be, well actually your 3rd measure. It should basically be a G chord, but in this case, you can actually just really play it with 1 finger. It's like a 1-finger G chord. Reason being is I'm muting the 5th string. I should be hitting the 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. So G chord has a lot of variations. This is one variation of it, just using 1 finger. Similar, the next chord of the same measure as A, I could also use 1 finger there. I could just bar it. So G to A is just like this. Okay? So easier than going like a full G to A. Right? Okay? So once you memorize the chords and memorize the order, so you have... Okay? We just have to get the rhythm a little bit and then add that trill. It's also difficult at the end. You'll see we're going to do a trill, and then we're going to go right back to the beginning, which might be the hardest part of the song. I want you to be able to repeat it through 3 or 4 times, okay? So I'm going to play it slowly, and then I'll play it a little closer to tempo. So this is going to be with a pick. So here we go. Now here the actual song's not that fast, but it's going to be this around the tempo should be. Now if you want to add little X's, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to hit the muted strings. Now you don't have to do this, but this is kind of a song that lends itself to not using a pick. So at this point I'd recommend using a pick because that's what we've done in the class. But you get a little bit more of the sound of the song. If you don't, you get this sound. Okay, so if you want to try that, you can. You definitely don't have to. But that's what a trill is, and that's thinking out loud. And we just got a couple more left.